Welcome back to our second to last study in our Lenten Study series, Questioning Our Grip on the Cross. The second to last study, Study 6, is entitled Time to Get Personal, Jesus and You. This will be a very different study to all the ones that have preceded it. It's very important in order to get the most out of this particular Study 6 that you engage with it privately by yourself prior to coming to the group and reflect on the material within the study. What we're going to be doing in this study is we're going to be leaving a lot of things behind. We're going to be leaving behind theology, doctrine, dogma, philosophies, concepts, thoughts. We're going to be leaving behind, in fact, everything that I've shared with you in this study. We're going to be leaving it all behind so that all that is left is Jesus and you. It is indeed time to get personal. And so let me get personal as we begin this second to last study. When I look at certain theologies, particularly full salvation theology, I find myself either left cold or often disconnected from such theologies. They simply do not speak to me. When I hear many doctrines and dogma about this thing called salvation, they fail to resonate with me, or some formats of it can actually leave me quite repulsed by it. I find that when I try to engage with these theological and doctrinal understandings of particularly the cross and passion, they simply do not resonate with me. What resonates with me when it comes to salvation is the personal. When I listen to that magnificent hymn, Amazing Grace, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. The person who penned that hymn, John Newton, was a former slave trader. He trafficked in human flesh, deemed subhuman because of the colour of their skin. And through the grace of God, John Newton, this former slave trader, was saved. This John Newton who regarded others as subhuman, but who himself, through his attitudes and his behaviour and treatment of these people of different coloured skin, was himself engaging in subhuman behaviour. And through the grace of God, he was saved. I can see salvation in that life. Yes. And I can see salvation much closer to home. I can see salvation in the life of my friend Albert, who very sadly died far too young. Albert, who was a self-confessed criminal and drug addict, who through the grace of God underwent the most extraordinary transformation. I could see salvation in his eyes, that light of God that shone through his eyes. I could see salvation in that life. So my question for you in this study is, how and where do you see salvation? How and where do you see Jesus? This study will be simple and unadorned and very personal. In it, I simply invite you to reflect on the following. This reflection, as previously advised, is best done prior to the group session. Who is Jesus to you? What does Jesus mean to you? How has the fact that Jesus lived and died, and according to the gospel record, rose again, influenced and continue to influence your life? What significance has Jesus' life, ministry, and teaching for you? What does salvation mean to you? What significance has Jesus' death on the cross for you? What significance has Jesus' resurrection for you? That's it. That's the study. For some individuals, these reflective questions will be all that is required. For some individuals, these reflective questions will serve as an invitation into a quiet space that is beyond denominational theologies and doctrinal statements, beyond what you are taught in Sunday school, and beyond what you have heard preached from the pulpit. For some individuals, the above questions will be enough for you to enter a meditative and reflective space containing only Jesus and you. Some people, however, may benefit from a little more reflective structure than offered by these simple questions. If this describes you, then I have created in what follows something that I've called, in a nod to the Roman Catholic Stations of the Cross, Stations of the Christ. These stations of the Christ can be regarded as metaphorical rooms that you may enter or not, depending on whether that particular station resonates with you or not. You can choose to sit and dwell in that space for a time, reflecting on what is raised in that station. Use these stations if they assist your reflection, but not otherwise. Station 1. Silence. In the morning, while it was still very dark, Jesus got up and went out to a deserted place, and there he prayed. Find a quiet location where you won't be disturbed. Turn your phone off or to silent. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Focus for a time upon your breathing, in and out. When your thoughts drift, gently bring your focus back to your breath. As your mind slows down, ponder the following. What if Jesus was sitting next to you? right now in the silence? What would you hear when you stop speaking and listen? What does Jesus say to you? How does God speak to you in the silence? Pause the video at this point. If you are alone, reflect on this particular station of the Christ. If you're in a group, I encourage you to share your thoughts with the group. Station 2. Jesus. Who is he? In this station, when you enter, you see a series of cards. Each card has a word or words written upon it. You pick up each card in turn and read it. Which card or cards describes who Jesus is for you? Reflect on the reasons for your choice of cards. Pause the video at this point. If you are alone, reflect on this particular station of the Christ. If you're in a group, again, you may share your thoughts with others. Station 3. Salvation. Reflect upon the following. What meaning has salvation for you? Are you saved? If you don't respond yes to whether you have been saved, might another word better describe your relationship to God or Jesus? Perhaps loved or accepted. If you resonate with a word other than saved, what significance has this word for your relationship with God, with others, with life, and with your deepest self? If you are saved, what or whom has saved you? If Jesus has saved you, in what way has he saved you? What have you been saved from? What have you been saved for? Is this salvation complete, or is it ongoing? Do you experience this salvation individually or collectively with others? Pause the video at this point. If you are alone, reflect on this station of the Christ. If you're in a group, again, feel free to share your thoughts. Station 4, transformation. And we all who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory are being transformed into his image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. As you have aged and matured, what has changed with how you see faith and life? As you have aged and matured, what has changed in you? Can you identify any transformative moments in your life? Has transformation for you been more a gradual, almost imperceptible thing, or instead a series of major shifts in your consciousness and being? Can you identify calls to transformation at different points of your life? Did you respond to those calls, or was it too difficult to respond? Can you discern transformation going on within you now? Pause the video at this point. If you are alone, reflect on this station of the Christ. If you are in a group, again, feel free to share your thoughts and reflections. Station 5, mystical union. I have been crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me. We have the mind of Christ. Truly, I tell you, just as you did or did not do it to one of the least of these, you did or did not do it to me. The universal Christ, another name for everything. In the beginning was meaning, and meaning was with God, and meaning was God. Meaning was in the beginning with God. And meaning became flesh and lived among us. And we have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. There have been mystics in all religious faiths, including the Christian faith. Mystics perceive a oneness to existence. Mystics perceive the interconnection between all things. Mystics experience individuality, but also the relationality that connects us. Sit for a moment and consider. You are a temporary and marvelous co-location of atoms. Some of the very atoms that comprise you were once in the body of Jesus. Some of the oxygen atoms you inhale in this moment were once breathed by Jesus. Your extraordinary brain has taken some 14 billion years of cosmic evolution. You are connected in time and space to this cosmic history. In you, the universe has become self-aware. In you, the universe contemplates existence and meaning. In you, the universe ponders purpose. We humans exist so often within the illusion of separateness. We perceive ourselves as separate from each other. We perceive ourselves as separate from nature. We perceive ourselves as separate from God. We perceive ourselves as separate from meaning. And meaning, the Logos, became flesh and lived among us. And meaning showed us how to live and to love each other. And meaning died on the cross. But the cross could not end meaning, and violence could not defeat love. For meaning rose again, because love never fails. And meaning is, and will forever be, with God. And when I die, my little deaths, do I really die? Do my ego's deaths end me? Or do these little deaths birth new life. When I try but fail to fashion purpose, then realize with wonder that meaning lives in me. Pause the video at this point. If you are alone, reflect on the significance of this station of the Christ. If you're in a group, again, feel free to share your thoughts and feelings. Our final station of the Christ, Station 6, the cross. When Jesus had received the wine, he said, "It is finished." Then he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast, save in the death of Christ my God. All the vain things that charm me most, I sacrifice them through his blood. When you look upon the cross of Jesus, what do you see? Tragedy, purpose, salvation? When you look upon the cross of Jesus, what do you see? A life, a death, a rebirth. When you look upon the cross of Jesus, what do you see? Violence, sacrifice, love. When you look upon the cross of Jesus, what do you see? Despair, hope. When you look upon the cross of Jesus, what do you see?